I'm really excited to see how these teams are going to be applying it. You know, when it comes to these kind of really important games, this is where you pull out all the stops and really try to, well, leave nothing on the table, right? These teams are fighting for their spot in Masters in this series right now. No matter what, you want to stay out of that lower bracket because there are so many strong teams in the EMEA right now. We're kicking off on map number 1. We're here on Bind as G2 start on the attacking side. And Tom, I'm looking at a lot of ghosts here. These guys, they're going in for those silenced pistols right off the bat.
Have they not heard of the classic right click? I don't know. I felt like they might have missed the memo on that one, especially if they're going to be pushing in towards hookah. It's going to be an interesting one, but hey, never mind. It's going to take them a while to break the wall anyway because they have to use all of those ghosts to do it. Not the fastest for sure, and they're a little bit wary of the boost still being in play. Now, I'm excited at some point in this series to see the Jets match up. We had that in the last map where we were looking at two unbelievably aggressive Jets. I've heard a lot of stuff. Well, I've seen a lot of stuff of Izzy being like almost like CNED but more aggressive, which I know sounds like a ludicrous statement, but trust me, like when he gets going, he's definitely in that bracket, and so is keloqz as well. And even at this point, SMB are going to go pushing forward, looking to try and find those opening jewels. It's only going to be a trade initially, and actually the spike's going to start running back towards this A side.
They're gearing up for the A hit. Looks like a lot of noise is being made here, though. Mixwell definitely causing a bit of a distraction. As we see the Tiger put out, clearing the backside. pAura crosses over. Good dash in there from keloqz, who manages to connect the shot to Brave. That's the side opened up for a plant, and Supermassive not going to have a great chance of fighting back. They've at least taken down nukkye, but the spike does get planted. Time now, a big constraint on them, and pAura is so low that just one bullet is needed to take him down. 1-0 we go. G2 picking up the pistol.
He's indefinitely going to be making, because that's something that happens so often when facing off against G2's bind, is that he's going to be left on, well, there you go. He's on one side and everyone else is on the other.
Now,
Thank you, Mixwell. That was very good timing.
He's in a little trouble. The classic has actually taken him down. A few right clicks and there's a weapon to be retrieved. Not a bad start for Supermassive. They'll take that. The problem is G2, well, they're going to take the B side. Completely overrunning it and getting the plant down here and now. But Tom, we say it many times. A couple weapons dropped here is the ideal scenario for the Turkish squad. They've already got... Whoa! Oh! Yeah, they've got two.
This is one of those moments where keloqz is just shouting, they're all there. They're on there, and he's like, all, really? All there? No, all there. Everyone. Trying to push back in.
Oh.
This is starting to get scary. Already 3 kills. This is a successful round, but it comes down to just one. AvovA's the only man remaining. They're already on the defuse. He needs to wipe out everybody. He's not going to be able to do it. Brave, the youngster, with 3 kills on the back of the Astra. And that's a round that SuperMassiveBlaze never should have won.
And look at how many credits they've got left over as well. It's insane.
Well, there's not really much that anybody on the G2 side can do about that. Orb control. This is a wall we see all the time, but especially when you've only got Sheriffs, breaking it takes an incredibly long time, so almost too easy. And with a lot of the Astra utility at the moment, it's just going to be used to delay. Try and slow them down. nukkye, though, going to land himself the insta headshot with the Sheriff. Well, for now at least. Going to slow things down. Again, a man to the good. I don't think there's any heals available for koldamenta, so he's not going to be able to get nukkye back to full. Now facing into Izzy, trying to be a little bit more careful in this scenario. They know that they've got a huge advantage in this round, Mitch, so even with a man down, they don't need to take too many risks.
Didn't see any risks there, Tom. No risks involved in that jump up with the boom butt. They have got the number advantage here for G2 as they push out onto the site. Good dash by keloqz. He's already in the tube. And it'll be koldamenta to take the kill in the corner. Izzy gets caught, detected, and taken down. And, well, Tom, it's not even 4 spies back and forth. It's the eco rounds. Full Sheriffs.
This is stupid.
I'm at a loss for words, but I guess this is yin and yang. Supermassive get their eco, and then G2 just answer back. Thing is, oddly, G2 have ended up in a better spot.
And then these 2 rounds have... I'm just got the image of that gif where they just, like, throw all of the papers up in the air.
Izzy has bought an up. straight away. He's looking to use his very passive on A. And actually, if you look at where that Viper wall's put down on the attack side, that completely counters his angle. At least if it's put down right, he can't see over that. That's disgusting. Playing on top of the wall, a double man setup, but it's going to be a challenge on A. Oh. And there you go. Izzy trying to catch an angle above the wall, but it doesn't quite work out. pAura quick to connect with a Sheriff in hand. And I feel like, once again, they're under threat, especially with Izzy connecting onto Mixwell. The spike is pretty much stuck. What a shot.
This is exactly what nukkye does, and luckily he's got keloqz alongside him. This was looking like a done deal, but now a possibility for the remaining couple of players of AvovA. With a little bit of utility remaining to try and slow them down, and with Brave coming in from behind, nukkye should almost definitely be dead. No real chance to survive that angle, and now it's left all onto the Spectre. It seems like there's little to no hope, and actually upgrading slightly at least. It gives him the first duel. Second for russ, though, is not going to happen. And SuperMassiveBlaze break back again. Slightly better by them of everything we've seen so far, thanks to all the credits they managed to build up previously, and now they're just going to be like, it seems like they might be trolling here, or like, oh, they're flaming, but no, they want to get the op.
We've seen a super passive stance on A. Now they're once again against a shaky-ish buy on some players. It looks like he's keeping it more aggressive, but it won't be the focal point of the round at all. SuperMassiveBlaze having 3 players on B, and there's lots of challenge here.
Yeah, it's going to go straight through. Oh, it's a little bit awkward. russ already going to be catching out one. Turko has found another as well. We're going to see the Seekers spotting out where nukkye is. I thought for a second he would actually destroy that for the teammate, but decided to be a little bit more focused on actually taking on the round again. And awkward spot, and Izzy. Well, you wanted to see that operator. There it will be. Closing out the round, taking it.
But no, they are on the statistically worse buy, but so far that has not been the case. Again, this wall going to cut off the operator chance. Like, you can still see them as they come through, but it depends on what part of the wave the wall is at.
I love the turret that they put in. As said, I think a lot of the reason that we're seeing keloqz put into play is to directly counter Viper. Like, also the ultimates, you think, in comparison, it's the perfect counter for a Viper's pit if you can throw in the ult on the other side with the lockdown. But also, it's just giving them information if anybody tries to sneak through every single time. Now, the showstopper, unfortunately, kind of knows all of that point because it's going to force every single member out of the site. It won't get any kills, though, and considering how much in terms of weaponry is currently there for G2, they probably would have hoped for a little bit more.
All the Killjoy utility on the side is used up and taken out of the equation. pAura still with that lockdown to play with, but doesn't look like they're going to use it just yet. Instead, going in with the showstopper in hand, looking for someone in there. A victim is finally found, but it's a good fight being put up by SuperMassiveBlaze. They pull back with a couple of kills, and Izzy closes the round. The timer puts G2 on the back foot, let's say.
And we're going to see the early battle for hookah control. 4 players currently over onto the B side, so relying a little bit more heavily on pAura again, looking like it might be the retake, and I think this is now the lockdown being utilized if they do go for a plant on that side of the map, because otherwise this is a bit of a peculiar setup currently being played by SuperMassiveBlaze. But with that ultimate available, I think it makes a lot of sense.
And G2 understanding the gravity of this round are taking it much slower, spread into a default to start, not finding any control, and it will be the late play in towards the B site. The problem here is that there's a double man hold over hookah with the operator watching on B long. And of course, as we said, the retake on A means Sky is very quick to rotate. Seekers go out. This will clear hookah for them alongside a flash, confirming they can push through after the nade. Oh, keloqz out on long. He gets traded, though. Here we go. AvovA starting to up the pace a little bit. Deep nade goes down. Izzy forced onto the site with 10 HP. Will be sideswiped by Mixwell, and now this gets dangerous. russ tries to buy a little bit more space, but it won't happen this time around. And Killjoy's ulti being spammed onto doesn't really matter in the end.
Financially, it's not too bad a spot. A weapon or two missing for SuperMassiveBlaze, so they'll still be coming back with a purchase into this round. pAura, being so passive over the last couple, is looking to get a little bit cheeky, but he's going to be forced back off the angle.
Oh, I like that. We're blocking the left side peak and putting the grav well in. That's a lot of pressure. It's keeping two players inside a bath as they quickly rotate towards this B site. Turko's going to have a pretty tough hold. The man is now solo. After they've lost control of bat, they're calling for the full rotations to come over towards the A side. SuperMassiveBlaze put all their eggs in the wrong basket, and they've left one behind. We said Turko, but with a Spectre in his hand, this is going to be a really tough battle for him. They're coming through the smoke, though, and that gives him the perfect opportunity. Runs out of ammo, tries to upgrade, but not quite in time. Still, that has bought them enough time to get Russ into position. Now tucked in the corner of the site, but nukkye's clearing it and looking for a little bit more. Creeping up towards the spawn wall. This is a tough retake now. SuperMassiveBlaze needs someone to find that angle, and pAura is completely undetected. Great shot onto koldamenta. Mixwell spotted in the corner, is taken down quickly, and now it's all onto nukkye. A big clutch needed to keep them alive in this round. Spike down in the open. He can't quite reach it. There we go. But he needs to get it planted, and they're on two different angles. He now knows exactly where both players are. This could be pretty powerful. He can find one of these kills. Oh, but they know he's not planting.
10 seconds left.
Just going to run this clock all the way down. 8 seconds remaining. He fakes the plant, and here comes the swing. Perfectly timed to take him down.
Honestly, with how things have gone this far, I wouldn't be surprised if they managed to take it.
You want to fight it?
I feel like you've almost cursed it. It's going to, you've willed it into existence at this point in time.
Bomb buddy out.
See how it goes.
Maybe I enjoy it.
I'll get target.
You enjoy the hate. Great plan. I mean, you know, a stun's not going to stop you at this point. That wall's going to disappear in just a moment. That gives the opportunity for the push to come through. Nukkye is really going to be upset with that one. And pAura even goes on to take down AvovA. That's the worst part. He could have stopped that before it started. Now they have a tough hold on. koldamenta tucked in the corner. Opportunity presents itself to swing out and catch them by surprise. But he only peppers them up, Tom. He can't get the kill shot. And that will be 6-3 in a flawless manner. Wow.
For example, is Lamp. So for now, looking good for SuperMassiveBlaze. Brave even to potentially be a little bit cheeky. When this fades, there's going to be a multitude of players on the other side. Maybe trying to fake them out with his current positioning. In fact, I thought for a second he was going to get both. It looked like he should have done. Izzy waiting to the last possible second to find the kill onto AvovA. But that takes out a lot of the utility available for G2 and gives them an all-important man advantage.
Yeah, well, first of all, the spike's left behind here, so this is going to be a very slow... Oh, well. Suboptimal, to say the least. They lost their Seekers in those early fights as well. Bladestorm's gone. Like, you're not going to be a showstopper in this situation. Good kill. Spike picked up. Spike drop.
Down B.
Quickly as you like. At this point, oh, we've seen Mixwell on the Viper. We've seen him do some great things before, but with 40 seconds on the clock. They have full rotated, though. They're playing 3-man B right now. Happy to retake if he manages to get a plant down. Far enough away from his ultimate that it won't really matter. And, well, look at the firing squad.
I think it just threw G2 off.
Get out of my way.
Completely unprepared for a push that aggressive. And, well, now we're going to have a Bladestorm, Seekers, Showstopper available. But the question is, other than the Bladestorm, how many of them are they actually going to utilize?
Well, here's the Seekers popped out. Remember, this gave them hookah control last time, but now it's going to be used to overrun the A site and get Jet into a very aggressive position. I don't know, there's still an updraft to play with, but keloqz is deciding instead to go in through spawn. Much more aggressive stance to go in for these fights, and a nice headshot, followed by a second. He's running into heaven, and okay, he won't land that shot. Nukkye a little bit too quick in taking the kill, and a nice nade to deal even more damage. This is a fantastic start for G2, but they have to hold on. They might not know about pAura's flank. He's done this so often. But surely they're going to check it, and that they do, with AvovA trading out his teammate and Turko falling. This is pretty much done and dusted. Russ is running for the hills to save that Vandal. And we're looking at 4 rounds for G2. Rez burned up over on the SuperMassiveBlaze side as well. That's a perfect round. Either way. Showstopper was burned up, and that's the TLDR of it. G2 have no ultis to play with this time around. And Tom, yes, they've won a lot of the rounds with pistols. They've also won them by throwing in mainly the Seekers, right? The Seekers have found them a lot of room to maneuver on. It seems to be that lack of information that they're really playing with a lot of the time, giving SuperMassiveBlaze the ability to have these late round aggressive stances that we've seen from them again and again.
Oh yeah, they've almost used Showstopper as well as an ability to take control of that. Like no one's gonna push back into a Showstopper. That almost becomes the secondary point.
Oh,
And he's just been
so
owned.
dirty.
The combo of the Boombot alongside the operator and Izzy is just completely outplayed his opponent. The turret's gonna make things all the more irritating. That spot is so dirty. Like it shoots over the top of the screen, gives them the information, and then also snaps back to spot anybody going out. I feel like they've intentionally put this in play, and that was just a random shot towards AvovA, and it almost kills him off. Sure, the last was incredible with Defo, but I think Izzy, when he's on Jet, is just so much more aggressive. So I think that will be a true showing of what Turkish Jets have to offer. That was an audacious attempt from koldamenta. Straight through. I don't know if he tried to run back the other way and was just so blind he got caught, but that has gone very badly wrong and ends up with, oh, it looks like a very easy round for SuperMassiveBlaze.
Oh, nukkye. Look at him go. Oh, he's full blind and he's still killing people, popping headshots, but it's not enough. We'll see where they go. It's a lot different making those weak buys work over on the attack side, though, where you've got the numbers versus and the Seekers and all this entry ability.
Well, not the greatest of starts. We've already seen Ray find the opener. Izzy's going to go flying across. Does actually connect the bullet onto Izzy, but unfortunately, Mixwell completely surrounded, not going to get anything done. Going to be the rotation coming back in. Of course, they've got very little to lose in this round. Interested in what the plan is. Maybe try and catch out somebody lurking on the other side of the map, or just look for exits as a whole. But obviously for G2, they don't want to hold on to any of the weaponry that they currently have.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to be dropping these weapons pretty quickly. Get your little bit of cash for dying. Likely to see them jump into the spike at the end of the round if they don't get wrecked by the Spectres. See if they can grab an extra kill here. There's nukkye for one. Okay, well, look, that worked out about as well as it could have.
I feel like this was one that I think they knew that Ascent would be coming up next anyway, which has been a much stronger map for G2 as of recent. Like, there's going to be something that I think they knew that any Turkish team they would come up against will be picking. Just like the CIS Turkey are big fans of Ascent. But now, though, is there going to be any sort of response? Now, this isn't actually that weak a purchase. Normally, we see teams with mostly Spectres across the board, but actually Turko and Russ are both invested into rifles for this round. So, on the side of G2, they do have to be that extra bit careful because there's a very real chance that either of those players could take over the round.
Yeah, when you get to this level of competition, it's very different to the earlier stages of challengers, and we've seen it in the first couple of rounds, right? It doesn't even matter if your opponent's a eco. The level of skill is so high here that you lose focus for a second. You give an opportunity, it will be capitalized on. Lots of stars going down. The B site gets overrun. Izzy trying to get up close, but koldamenta prevents it. The site still under threat as the wall breaks, but a good shot by Turko, and Russ follows up with more. The Sheriff of pAura leaves just keloqz and nukkye alone. Now, keloqz has managed to get very early on in towards hookah, but they know he's here, and it has to be...
Last player standing.
Well, yeah, with nukkye falling, this is very unfortunate. This getting out's going to be tough. And that's why. Sprayed down, weapons upgraded. SuperMassiveBlaze are 11-4 in the lead, Tom.
You let them talk, or in some cases, you let them not talk, which if people are just stewing. Now, I will say that there's a lot of experienced players on this G2 roster, so yeah. I am hoping that that is not the case, and they do have players like Mixwell bringing them back, and I know that keloqz is a beacon of positivity as well. Maybe a little bit crazy, but that definitely reflects in his gameplay as well. We'll see if they can get anything done here. They have taken the choice to go for a massive amount in this round and try to basically fight for overtime unless they can make it work once again and up that stat a little bit more. A lot of information already garnered, though, by nukkye, spotting a few players down mid, and with the push already coming in on the other side from keloqz, they are going to spot this rotation, or they should do, fairly early. The problem is it might be caught by keloqz dying, and it definitely will.
Yeah, that's a shame. The fact that keloqz goes down there, such an aggressive position with the Marshall, it could have given him at least the ability to catch off the last player in, but now the rest of the team scrambles to aid the B site, and it's only nukkye to find it. The Sheriff in hand, he's being sprayed at from every direction, naded, pushed. And himself and Mixwell both find kills. The ultimate pop, but it gets nothing. He's caught in mid-air. Turko just saved the day. He was the replacement that was brought in, right? For CNED over on BBL way back. I think so. I'm pretty sure he was the guy that got on instead. He did a damn good job. Like when EU stole him away. 12-4. This could be the final round of G2's map pick. And pAura has even opened it up onto koldamenta. The teleport play caught red-handed. An ultimate pop by SuperMassiveBlaze. Mixwell has actually managed to avoid being caught by that Seeker. He gets in, sneakily destroys the ult, and he's out. Oh, here comes the showstopper, hunting him down inside the Viper's pit. Russ onto AvovA, and this surely is 13-4 for SuperMassiveBlaze. They even have the res, insult to injury for G2, who now have a 2 versus 5. All the efforts put in by Mixwell and the others are gone. And Tom, I'm not feeling too hopeful about this one. nukkye has to push out through a smoke, and just like that, it is close, 13-4.
I'm still going to stick it with SuperMassiveBlaze, but what I will say is that there's this guy called keloqz who likes this map a lot, and he's back on his trusty agent. He's looking to get a little bit aggressive, and we know what he can do given the opportunity. So they're still going to be a little bit careful. They can't take this one for granted after the first map.
That is for sure. Your man keloqz is having a bit of trouble holding on to B main here. He's still inside as they split through market and quickly dispatch him. Now the only threat is in spawn. 3 players, soon to be 4, grouping up there. An ambitious pistol for G2, but koldamenta picks up the first. Now they have a little bit of access, but look over towards main. This is always the troublesome position, and with pAura tucked in there, it could get very scary indeed. Russ kind of postured there, you know? He went for that fight in the alleyway that you normally wouldn't go for if you have a teammate inside of main. Yeah. There's only one player watching for it. That alarm bot should give it away. pAura standing still and avoiding it, eventually steps to the side, and a headshot connected leaves Mixwell low. Russ takes advantage of that, and koldamenta to close it out.
As you sort of mentioned, like Russ's peak, I feel like is to just almost try and play with the minds of their opponents, and then pAura's is to give Russ more space to peek back onto it again. So like it works both ways, and the interplay of those players basically wins them the round. And for now, at least, well, there is one Sheriff. Everything else is just straight up classics. A few pieces of utility here and there. Not really much that they can really go for here. Almost getting some damage done. Actually, nukkye is going to close out that kill.
Yeah, good stuff. Tag onto Russ makes him a little bit squishier for AvovA. A little right click could do the trick, but Russ a little bit too quick. keloqz in 7 HP, the final player that Sheriff aforementioned, but he goes into the fight with a knife, and it goes about as you'd expect.
Into some of these earlier rounds. But this is where we need to see G2 actually break back a little bit. But again, we're seeing 2 rifles in. This is something that SuperMassiveBlaze seem to want to do in quite a lot of rounds. And actually, Izzy's with one of them. He's just gone dashing into the site.
Yeah, they've got a deep reveal that covers the majority of the site, and they see absolutely nobody. But better safe than sorry, so the drone makes an appearance as well. The door is coming down. That'll just be spammed and broken down in a second by G2. But the important thing is they've got the site and the plans. And with the weapons they have in play, this is the ideal scenario. Keep it nice and close range. Take the fights on your own terms. G2 need to find a way in. And I think it's going to be around some of this SOVA utility. The recon in particular, when you've got that Odin in play, it can be so strong. And here it goes.
keloqz dashing in. He's made some space. He's become the focus, but even still, the trades are actually coming in thick and fast. Turko ends up with 3 kills on the Spectre.
That's not a round that you should lose. It's not a fight you should lose, and you certainly shouldn't lose 4 of them. Bizarre. Bizarre indeed, but SuperMassiveBlaze with 3-0 off from the start is fantastic. The run up mid takes Mixwell down. Of course, they only have pistols this time, but Tom, that's where they do most of the work.
Yeah, at least in the last map. I'm really hoping that that doesn't become a trend, because it will be a very short-lived trend, because they will be going down to that lower bracket in the next 20 minutes. But other than that, I'm hoping they start to get a few buy rounds on the board as well. If they can do it in this round, all good for them. At least being able to find a kill or two here and there. Russ actually goes in for the solo peak, so that's going to be a weapon at least traded over. An angle held by nukkye as well. Needs to try and get something done here if they're going to have any chance, or even bother going for the retake, because from AvovA's point of view, he's got a gun now.
Yeah, he could definitely justify going back to save. I think in these sort of situations, it's often going to be just one guy going for the fight with the other looking to save the rifle. And nukkye having a sheriff in his hands, I mean, why not? Paranoid out. No, they're both swinging. The trade found by AvovA, and he almost gets them all. But Turko saves the day at the final hour. It's 4-0.
But by the looks of things, SuperMassiveBlaze are just going to go for an incredibly fast take of this B side. Maybe negate all of it, but keloqz is there ready and waiting.
A little bit of trouble here for Russ. Almost taking his teammate down, doing a gambit on that. The spams that can come straight through the wall there, I thought would be a big danger, because I saw koldamenta put out a little recon, but it didn't actually manage to scan anybody. I think they destroyed it instantly, so G2 don't get any of that information to play around. They end up losing keloqz. The res comes in, so SuperMassiveBlaze are back up with an advantage, and they're making a quick rotation to the A site, where presently there's only AvovA, and even then, he's super passive.
It's one of those rounds where they can afford to take that risk because they have the backup of the res. Now, a lot of information has been found by nukkye. He's gone pushing all the way into mid. It's not quite David P, but he is getting just as much in terms of positioning. The problem is, this is almost definitely going to have to be a retake, unless something could be found by AvovA on the cross. And the fact is, chances are they're just going to wait this one out to force him all the way back. Now, there is going to be a bit of a risky peek coming in from Mixwell, but again, he'll have to go for the same. Well, I think he actually got detained.
Spike planted.
Yeah, it looked like it up above, but it's long since gone. 12 seconds until recon again. When you've got that Odin in play and an A-side retake, you want that recon. 5 seconds. I don't want to see a peek right now. Save that. There we go. Perfect. Gonna go for the lockdown. Recon's coming over. Spam can come through and catch them as they go back on out. Before is pushing right on up into their faces. That's gonna be the lockdown destroyed. And now it's only koldamenta. His head taken clean off to give 4 kills for pAura and 5 rounds for SuperMassiveBlaze. Regionally, they look fantastic. We've always had teams like BBL from Turkey doing fantastic work within the EU scene since the very beginning. They're always kind of top 10. But were they good enough to beat the best of the best in Europe? In CIS? Yes. That question's been answered. It looked unbelievable. Nice shot by Izzy. Look at the Blade Storm connection onto keloqz. Double opening. These pistols wanted an early skirmish with the sheriffs on mid, and I guess they got their wish. It just didn't quite go the way they expected.
Yeah, it seems like there's been rounds where SuperMassiveBlaze have completely ignored mid, which is almost a little bit peculiar, especially with how pAura used to play. He was like a hard lurker for the squad. He would always make sure that angles are covered. And then there's other rounds where they just fight for it almost completely.
Blocking sight.
And, well, so far, whatever they've decided to do has worked out for them. G2 haven't been able to get a good read on exactly what the Turkish squad are doing. And for now, wow. It doesn't even seem to matter. Dominance from Izzy. You could see he was walking towards that wall. He wants to go over the top of it, but I don't think he has any updrafts left.
This is one of those situations. I think he can make it if he drifts down. Well,
I think he tried a minute ago. They have to win this round, right? Like, it's at the point now where, if not, then we might as well just call this one done. Like, they've got 3 or at least 2 very strong ultimates online. They've got everything they could desire in terms of weaponry. If they don't win this round, yeah, you might as well just look at it the other way. Mixwell, well, when they need a hero, he's the one to step up, but the trades come back so fast. They've already found 2 kills back. koldamenta will give them the advantage once more, but Turko is just turning things on his head again. An afterplant for SuperMassiveBlaze, and what was looking like the best opportunity so far could still go the Turkish side's way.
and another round where nukkye doesn't have the opportunity to use that res. That would put the numbers back in their favor and give them a fantastic chance. Because he falls in that initial engagement, that option isn't on the table anymore. And G2 need to find a way back into this site. It starts by breaking the wall and a desperate attempt to spam above. Make sure that there's not anyone on top of the wall. The dash in from keloqz. That's going to be very slow to trade back. And indeed, AvovA comes around the corner. They're staring right at him. And then they immediately eliminate keloqz.
Then we saw them actually lose when they played against FPX with an incredibly strong defensive side. We've seen Guild throw out a really strong defensive side. And now SuperMassiveBlaze has just gone, like just 7-0 on the attack. Just walking all over their opponents. And I said, that was a round that I feel like you almost have to start questioning if G2 have just shown up today. Because, well, Mixwell gets them 2 openers and that round still slips.
No. It's SuperMassiveBlaze's ability to just go back out and take those duels, right? They keep taking individual fights in that late stage. They just happen to all work out for them. Sometimes you don't have to rely on the brain when you've got the aim. In those more scrappy situations. That was a brave play by Izzy. Koldamenta shuts down Russ. Trade back by Turko. And we said before, dude was 1 away. Now he's got his ultimate to play with. The res is possible, but he hasn't got a wall. It's a risky res to make happen. A lot of faith put in Omen here. Oh, Horace walked through the A site, Tom. He's just completely taking it by himself while they're skirmishing for mid, resing. They can now just go and plant for free.
Well, that's the pAura I remember.
Yes.
These are the plays that were stuck in the back of my mind, almost scarred in there with what he would do to other teams. And oh, that's not. I don't remember this. Koldamenta. Oh, he's going to get himself one at least, a freebie. Like Chicken, who's going to put the lockdown first, and then the other person can use the lockdown to counter your lockdown. So, well, we'll see if it actually gets utilized or if they're just going to hold on to it as bait, because realistically, it hasn't been needed. Oh, there you go. Isn't that exciting?
But they were put down almost the same second as well.
Yeah.
That was nice. All did the same idea. Well, guys, nobody is B on either team. I guess one of the guys is. I think that was Mixwell again. He is magnetized for those lockdowns. Good pick by keloqz. He's gonna fall back. He hears the jumps. Knows there could be a guy right up above. Little shadow step across as well. Or like without even using a PC. Well, I suppose a shadow step, but are we really considering that? Or shrouded step? Are we considering that a PC utility? Not really. So without using any real impactful utility, let's say, they managed to pull keloqz off that aggressive angle, off the potential one pick and dash out, and now he has to play a much more close range position. But this is still a very strong hold from G2. They have 3 players on the A side, the operator holding main. Really, the hope here is that AvovA can slow them down and take 2 kills along the way, and he even gets spotted as he looks up above to see the recon. Good shot by keloqz, but now he's got players all around him to worry about, and the first connection isn't quite there on short. They're closing in the distance and looking to take him down, but with the dash online, he's quickly out of there. Not quite finishing off the round, but surely pAura doesn't get away with this one.
Oh. Okay, I don't think he has time, so he's just going to try and bait them in and do as much damage as humanly possible. And the second Mixwell realizes he's not planting, he's just going to back off.
Alarm box down.
Well, we're coming towards the end of the half here, Tom. G2 need every round, really, to connect up that 8-4, win the pistol. They're back on the horse then, but that is a big task. No ultis to help them along the way. Not really facing off against any, on the other hand. With 110 left on the clock, it is a full round from SuperMassiveBlaze, spread into a default, holding for the pushes in through A and B main and trying to poke a bit at mid. I like this approach, but surely eventually G2 get an itchy trigger finger, start to move and look for that kill.
Going to be scoping out the closer angles, and AvovA is actually going to get spotted here. He's got the paranoia to at least hold them back for the second. A smoke going down, but he actually runs into it. And pAura always in the right place at the right time. We're going to see the attempted rotation into the boathouse, but pAura has already found himself another one. It leaves a lot of the pressure on koldamenta, but he's at least picked off one.
But now stuck and isolated on the back of the side, even slowed into the corner. And Brave quickly deals with him. The shot to nukkye makes it even more bleak. There is a wall there. keloqz can potentially updraft on top of it, but it would give away his position. Might be more worthwhile just sneaking on through. But with so many players up against him, it seems very unlikely. He does avoid the recon.
Looking so good. And the fact is, we're seeing G2 because of like economic restraints in some rounds. They're having to make riskier and riskier plays, and the default has just been so good. You've had players, well, like pAura, who've been able to catch that aggression. This time he goes down, but you're almost looking at keloqz like it seems like he feels like he has to do more in this round for them to even stand a chance.
Has he got it in the tank? I mean, there's 3 players holding down on the B side. You've got a flank coming through from Mixwell. This should be a round for G2. They have got SuperMassiveBlaze boxed in. Lots of steps being heard on mid. Good position by Mixwell. Nearly whiffs it out there in the end. Great second shot. And now Izzy's trapped in the corner. There it is.
SuperMassiveBlaze basically just play as a full 5 and just push somewhere. So it means there are gaps. The problem for G2 so far is they haven't had a lot of success in finding them. This round was the exception. And now we're seeing the space looking to be taken again. They shut down the initial aggression of SuperMassiveBlaze. nukkye looks like he's come online for this round as he looks to shut it down. 3 kills as it leaves just one man standing. And Russ is not going to be able to get anything done. It took a long, long time for G2 to even get anything on the board.
Should have brought your phone with you.
Hey, you would have missed the desk. That took a while. Here we go. Pistol round.
In the game.
Oh, they're gonna wall up over it. It's gonna be a completely free A site. So all of the aggression that's coming elsewhere from the defenders is actually not gonna garner them much because they thought that part of the map was locked out. It is gonna be a 5-on-5 retake with 0 damage done. Tell me how many times you've seen that in a pistol.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all too often. What was that shot? Maybe bullets do curve. He's dashing away and still hitting it. Oh, we've got keloqz living in an action movie. koldamenta is being pushed down. Able to find himself one. keloqz in with another, and this is looking fantastic. Only Izzy remains. He's still doing damage, though. The final player up close. All he needed was the headshot, but it won't come through.
Sometimes people try and tell stories as commentator. You could not shoot all of them down.
That one I choose to, though. That one I'm going to go ahead and shoot down real quick. And you know what, Tom? We got a little bit of time here because SuperMassiveBlaze have stacked up the back of the B site. And I'll give you a hint. It ain't B. They're figuring that one out right about now as well as they run over towards the A site here in the plant. As we always say, a couple of kills would be ideal. I do wonder, are they going to just sit out? Maybe try to get some exits? Because they're running all the way through spawn right now.
Yeah, this almost looks like get exits, die to the spike. Like that's the ideal for SuperMassiveBlaze, as they won't give anything over in terms of ultimate points either. This is actually expected. This is really expected by G2. I like it. They got shot darts flying into the spawn just to try and shut some of these players down. Even still, though, pAura's already going to kill off one. Now, they know that if they can force them back into the spike, but instead, it's just going to be farming up for G2. They only lose 1 player, and all in all, that's pretty successful.
We've seen that plenty of times.
We do have that full bonus in play. A round that we expect SuperMassiveBlaze to win, but we'll see if...
SuperMassiveBlaze.
Yeah, that's what they're called now, didn't you know?
Yeah, change them up. I like it. I like it. I'd buy a shirt with that on it.
I have managed to take quite a lot of mid control. He's already going to be here. pAura again. He's been the thorn in their side. The one player that they didn't actually pick up from the Heretics roster. It seems to be the one that maybe they're missing. As again, they're just looking to be shut down completely.
You know, one
Yeah,
away from
especially
lockdown.
looking at the teams down there already. That would be Giants or Guild that they'd have to face off against. And I don't think that either of those are going to be particularly easy game for the loser of this series. Again,
Look at the bait.
Brave is
Look
going to
at
slow them down. Izzy screwed here. They wanted to at least get a kill there and try and get out. Instead, though, pAura again. It just seems so tough for them to break him down. He's been unreal in this map. Oh, we're going to see the lockdown put into play. Is he just going to stick around? He's going to go to the back of the site. They'll know he's here.
They've got a recon to play with. Got a drone as well. Shock dart onto him. He has to move out of here now. He's going to be caught on the way. No trade possible. That's unfortunate, but SuperMassiveBlaze now having to go in for the retake. 3 versus 2. Recon lands, not revealing anyone just yet. And the turret spots out Turko above AvovA, biding his time for the peek, but his leg was spotted. Turko's quick to react. A player below, and one behind the server. No information here for SuperMassiveBlaze on this retake. That's where the drone comes in. Gonna try to spot them out, the headshot, but it's through the wall. Koldamenta barely survives, and they know there's a player below from the spray. This could be absolutely massive for the Blazers. Let's see what they can do. Turko, good headshot, and Russ is in with more. A devastating blow to G2 as SuperMassiveBlaze pushed to 11. They're even getting pretty damn close to having a res online. Bladestorm locked down.
Weapons here and there. In fact, for Mixwell, this is a heavy investment. He's not going to have much cash in the bank whatsoever. They need to make this costly.
Get out of my way. Wall raised.
I don't know how you really get away with this one if you're G2. I mean, winning the round should be out of the question. There are some opportunities, and it starts with keloqz coming around the corner, knives in hand. He's rushing it down in the back of this Hunter's Fury, already harassing Brave. Player up close, and he even gets the kill afterwards. The right click does damage, but doesn't get the kill. And so we end up 11-5, numbers evened. But Turko's one away from the res, and that might be something they can angle for.
Healing you.
Might be a little bit easier said than done with how many players are on the other side, and potentially not worth the risk either with the weaponry that they currently have.
Here, blinding.
We're going to see the paranoia thrown through. Turko again coming under pressure, multiple angles, but he hits the headshot anyway. I don't even see the head of the player, but he still manages to find it every single time. It's 12-5.
It's their own little super team, and well, it seems that we know which one is at least in the early stages getting the results.
How much money does keloqz have?
Hey, enough for a Turkish team, maybe.
Might have to buy the whole of Turkey at this rate, because I think he needs to purchase all the supporters that they're currently getting.
Could be. Oh, this drone is nasty. Turko on top of the wall is going to have them for breakfast. They're running back, and he knows it. He hears it. Can't jump off it, though. He would hear it as he fell back. With the res in hand, also doesn't want to be the first player forward. At this stage, they know the rotate's underway. You're going to be angling more towards the A side a lot of the time. Brave with ulti in hand could go in for a little bit of information outside of A. They hear the drone coming in. It's probably the time you want to get some intel or just go for the straight gamble. And they're on their way over. The shots from pAura, not quite going to connect. Forced in for the reload. And this could be just a full retake, especially with that lockdown online.
To try and clear them out the back of the side. Koldamenta's fighting for it, trying to deny it, and he's doing a decent job of it as well, but the lockdown's still in play. They might actually get detained, and instead Izzy has just gone huge. He's gonna get stuck in the mud. It's left all onto keloqz to try and fight this back in the 1v2 for survival, and this time it will not happen.
Not quite the game that we had hoped to get out of this one for G2. But definitely a solid showing for SuperMassiveBlaze. The Turkish squad have now confirmed themselves their spot in Berlin for Masters 3.